How's our financial plan coming?
Super! Chris, any advice?
With Western and Southern, preparing for your financial future can be easier than you think. Favorite receiver?
Huh?
To get started, visit westernsouthern.com.
Welcome into the PFF studios. Austin Gayle here with Mike Renner. We are talking about 8 first-round locks for the 2020 NFL Draft. We dropped the article, or you dropped the article, on PFF.com earlier in the week. It's time to dive into them on video. And who better to start with? Mr. Ohio, now LSU star quarterback Joe Burrow just beat down Alabama. This guy's a lock for the first round, maybe the lock for the first overall pick.
Yeah, he doesn't have a full season of elite play quite yet, but we've seen enough. I think we've seen enough at this point. When you do what he did against Alabama, 31 of 39, 393 yards, 3 tutties, no interceptions. I mean, if you do that against one of the most loaded defenses in the entire country, I feel pretty good about translating to the NFL. I don't think it's a fluke at this point. And the interesting thing is the low end has not been there. Not a single game with a below average grade this season. His low end is still elite play.
High floor, and the ceiling he gets to is pretty incredible. What he did against Alabama was what quarterbacks want to do every time, but they failed to do. I think it was impressive to see. But in that same game, Tua Tagovailoa also had a great game on a bad ankle. I think it gets overlooked. He had the ghost fumble, which people are going to look at. But I think outside of that, he turned in a very good game, and I think he is a first-round lock.
Yeah, in my opinion, he is getting almost underrated at this point with how dominant he's been over the course of his career. He's only a true junior right now, but has 2 seasons of elite level play against that LSU secondary, had 5 big time throws in that game, the most of any game in his career. And again, that was a very elite performance from him. You don't see guys do that against that LSU secondary. You don't see people put up 42 points against that defense. I think we just forget that he has a 91.3 passing grade for his career, not just one season. Joe Burrow did for one season. That's his career. He's been elite since day one of that freshman year when they won the national title.
To think Tank for Tua could go to underrated is pretty incredible. That speaks to how good Joe Burrow has been this season. This guy is far from underrated. Chase Young of Ohio State is legitimately a freak. He's going to break PFF records for overall grade, pass rush grade. He is awesome. You know, just the suspension aside, this guy is an elite player, a first-round lock.
Yeah, to me, he is the best non-quarterback prospect we've seen in our 6 years of grading college football prospects. I'd even go so far as to call him a lock to be the first non-QB taken. That's how good he is. I don't think, even if he gets hurt at this point, I think he's going top 3.
I think he's going to be great as soon as he touches down in the NFL, too. This guy has all the size, the tools, the physicality. I think he's going to be an elite player very early on. Let's go to Iowa edge defender A.J. Epinesa, who hasn't had quite the same year as Chase Young, but he's coming off a very good performance against Wisconsin Cole Van Lanen. I think this guy, he showed to us this past week that he is still a first-round talent. He's going to go high in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freak of nature. 6'6", 280. Not a lot of guys you see in college football at that size, that can move the way he does off the edge, versatility to kick inside as well. And the thing is, he's another guy who, since day one, has been dominating college football. 91.2 pass rushing grade for his career, 21.1 pass rush win rate for his career. Those are excellent numbers for a guy for a single season. That's his whole career, though. That's what he's been doing since day one.
In your latest mock draft, you have him going number 10 overall to the Oakland Raiders. I would love to see that pairing. Let's go to Alabama wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, who had some drops in that game against LSU, but this guy, like you said, just moves different. He's going to create separation at the next level, and separation is king.
Yeah, I just think he can get open better than any other receiver in this class, and then he can do stuff after the catch that is just freaky of nature. 29 broken tackles over the past 2 seasons, won the Biletnikoff Award as a true sophomore. I think he is not just a first-round lock, probably a top 10 lock at this point. Deep wide receiver class, but he is just on a different level than some of these other guys.
There you go. Speaking of guys on different levels, Jeffrey Okudah of Ohio State, one of my favorite prospects in this class. He's an elite talent from an athletic profile standpoint, great size, great length, great athleticism, but now he has the production, a top 10 coverage grade in PFF system. Jeffrey Okudah of Ohio State, really do love this kid.
Yeah, and another guy, and you're going to notice a theme with these guys. These guys have been good since the first day they stepped on a football field. Jeffrey Okudah has allowed a 43.6 completion percentage against for his career.
Wow.
He has just never played bad football there at Ohio State. 55.5 passer rating against for his career. And I go back to his high school, his testing metric. 6'1", 200 pounds. He ran a 4.49, had a shuttle of 4.03, and a 41.5-inch vertical. That's in high school. Those numbers can get better here at the combine. Those are pretty spectacular numbers for a cornerback.
And this season, he's allowed a 37.6 passer rating when targeted. That is truly incredible for Jeffrey Okudah. Let's go to Derek Brown, the mammoth for Auburn, who's always been a very good run defender, but of late has looked very good as a pass rusher. And if you can pass rush from that interior alignment, that has value. value in the NFL.
And that's the big thing is I think the NFL, while run defense will debate the merits of the running game, how much you should be running. If teams are still going to run the ball, you still need guys that can stop it. No one in this class projects better to do that than Derrick Brown, 6'5", 320. Basically just controls every single interaction that he is a part of. And oh yeah, he's added a little to his pass rushing repertoire this season, 90.7 passing grade. By far the highest of his career. He looks like a fairly complete defensive tackle prospect.
On the opposite side of the trenches, Georgia offensive tackle Andrew Thomas, one of the more smooth athletes for a guy that size. There's not a ton of people in the world that look like this guy. He's huge, very athletic. I think he translates very immediately in the NFL as a great pass protecting offensive tackle.
And you kind of mentioned it there. Top offensive tackle prospects are very easy to identify because 6'5", 300+ pounds with 33-inch arms and moving the way you need to move to play in the NFL. Not a lot of guys can do that. He can do that and has been doing that since his true freshman year at Georgia. 92.9 overall grade, the highest of any Power 5 draft-eligible offensive lineman right now, and doing it as a true junior with what we've seen in our grading, the career arcs of most offensive linemen. Guys aren't getting the job done until their redshirt junior year. Redshirt senior years, a lot of times, like Andre Dillard last year's first rounder, wasn't that good until his redshirt senior year. You got Andrew Thomas doing it as true junior. That's rare for me.
And what I love is when the grades, the production matches with this size and this elite potential for a guy like Andrew Thomas. I think that is going to be fantastic to see him go in the 2020 NFL Draft and play in the NFL. That's going to do it for our 8 first-round locks here from PFF. And remember, all of this presented by our friends at Western Southern. For more content like this, subscribe to PFF's YouTube channel or go ahead and go to the site at pff.com.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.